My father got me into racing back quite a while ago. I was 4 years old, and he grew up racing. Well, he didn't grow up racing. He raced back in the 1970s, and as I grew up, he always was, had us involved in racing different events, dirt track, a little bit of road racing when I was younger, and it just kind of grew up doing it, and it was always a passion of mine, and raced quite a bit up here in Canada as well. So it's just something I've always done.
My training of him took place many years ago when he first sat on a motorcycle at 18 months old. After that point, it was nothing but growth. And actually, he's won some Canadian championships riding dirt track here, as close as Welland, up north of Toronto, over the course of a number of years. When Jason started racing, he was 4 years old. He won his first race when he was 5. And we sat down after the first race and we made an agreement. And the agreement was very simple. If you don't want to race, all you've got to say is, I don't want to race, and we won't race. Well, for the next number of years, nothing took place until he was about 8 years old. And he had qualified first at a dirt track event in New York. And I went looking for him to get ready for the race. And he was playing with a bunch of little kids near a stream with some toys. And I said, we have to go, it's time to race. And he said, no, I don't want to race. It sort of shocked me, but that was the deal. So I went up to the starter and I said, take Jason off to pole position because he's not going to race. Well, I did a lot of explaining why, and they appreciated that. That never happened again until he started road racing at the age of 14. And Jason met this lovely little lady in the concession stand. He finished one race, winning it substantially. Then he was supposed to go out for a second race. I went looking for him. I couldn't find him. Went to the restaurant. The owner of the restaurant said, he's back in the field by turn 2. And I walked back, and sure enough, he was there with this pretty young lady, who is now his wife, by the way. They met when they were 14 years old. And he said to me, I don't want to race. Those are the only 2 times in his 22 years of racing that he said, I don't want to race.
For 2011, I'm racing for Ducati Motor Corporation through the latest motors racing team, and the reason I chose Ducati is really, I've raced some of the Japanese manufacturer bikes before, and I just love the Ducati style, and they had a great spot for me with the latest motors team. So it's just been a really great experience so far, and I hope to have many years with the Italian manufacturer. Here we have the Ducati 848 Evo. It's the 2011 model of the Ducati 848. The Evo is for Evolution. It's their new model this year in 2011, and this is the street bike version of the motorcycle that I race for the latest Motors Ducati team. And it's in street form, it's a little bit heavier, not quite as much power as the race bikes, but still, an awesome machine, great bike to ride on the street, and I'm sure this bike gets around the track pretty well also. So yeah, it's a really cool bike. You can pick one up at GP Bikes out in Whitby. They were kind enough to have me out here to the Toronto Motorcycle Show, and just really happy to be here. The race weekend was really a magical one. It was the race day was actually quite an up and down experience. We actually blew a motor on the Ducati at one point in the race. They had a red flag. The team was able to rebuild the bike, get us back into the race after a lengthy delay due to some tire issues that all the competitors were having, and we got back out there. It was a shorter race after the red flag. They shortened it down to 15 laps, so it was really a sprint race to the end. And even that was a little bit. A little bit kind of up and down. I mean, we were up at the front, we were back at the back, but we ended up getting the win at the end. So I was just really happy to give the team their first win and give Ducati their first win at the Daytona 200.
Jason has just recently opened a racing school for training. It's called Jason DiSalvo Speed Academy. You could go online and find him there. And the theory behind Jason's school is a little different than most that are out there, in that you bring your motorcycle to the track. He has negotiated with Öhlins for suspension, Arrive for helmets, so that when you come to the track, if he feels your helmet is not sufficient, then he will let you wear one, a ride helmet, top of the line. The suspension will be looked at by the Öhlins technicians to help you set up your bike better. The whole concept is to be safer and faster, and with his talent, he does this very well. The schools are held predominantly in Talladega, Alabama. They're very reasonable. I think they're $895 for 2 days, and it's quite an experience.
My future plan is just to keep on racing. I also have recently opened up a motorcycle racing and riding school down in the southeast region of America, and so I'm just going to keep racing, keep on hopefully winning, and try to improve my school and run the school, and just keep moving forward. Yeah, I think that would be a nice way to kind of spend the twilight years of my motorcycle industry career, would be as a motorsports coach, instructor, that sort of thing. That's kind of why we've started building the school now. Just want to build it into something big, and just try to make that as big as it can be.